Hello everyone and welcome to another Clash Royale episode. So I decided filling up my chest with my mini account and I've done 4 attacks. I'm gonna show you those with a deck that I've been using for a while. I pushed into 2000 trophies with this deck. It works really well if you use it well, and let's see it. So you can see the deck on the left side, and if you have all of those troops, I recommend not changing anything. I was trying pretty much every possible deck, and this was the only one that with my main account allowed me getting into 2000 trophies. This was the only one that worked. You can make some changes if you feel that you're meeting a lot of giants, a lot of pekkas, golem, stuff like that. You can change the goblin's hut with an inferno tower, which is very effective. In some cases you can change the goblin's hut with a lightning spell, sometimes even a free spell, a rage spell. So this would be the only one that I would play with. So if you have the witch, if you have the wizard, I would not change anything else. The rest of them you should have pretty much from the beginning of the game, so that should not be a problem. So let's talk general about the deck. There is no deck that is going to win all of the games for you. There is no such thing. Even this deck is not gonna win, but this deck is gonna give you a very good chance of winning. And as you're going to see, I just made 4 attacks and I won 3 of them and 1 is lost, and this is a very good statistics. Usually this is the case. On every 3 attack I'm losing 1, so with this one you can definitely push pretty high, and I'm gonna tell you soon how it works. It is also very important watching very carefully the way I'm using it, the way I'm countering different troops. Even in this attack, you should go back to the beginning of the video and watch very carefully the way I'm using it and the way I'm countering different troops. Of course, there are mistakes that I'm doing in timing and in the countering, and sometimes I don't have exactly what I need. This is definitely happening, but watch it carefully and see the way I'm using troops against different troops and the way I'm attacking, and you will have a great success with it. So for example, against minions, you always want to use the wizard. It's very effective against it, and it's gonna kill it in 2 seconds, and those minions are gonna be totally useless. So if you know, for example, that your enemy got those minions, make sure that you're saving your wizard for the time where you will need it, and this way you will be able to avoid those minions, because if they're gonna get to your tower, you're gonna mess up. Notice also that I'm using the knight against the wizard. It is very effective against the wizard, and again he's sending minions and I'm dropping the wizard. So basically, once you know how to use your troops against all the possible troops, and I'm gonna make another video showing how to do that, how to counter pretty much every troop in the game with this deck, you're gonna be able to do that. So on this one I'm showing you 4 attacks. One of them I lost. I don't know if I lost because I sacked in this specific game or the enemy got a huge advantage. Of course, if you're on a big mismatch and the enemy is much stronger, of course you don't have a chance. Also, there's a big weakness for this deck against a fireball. So if your enemy is using the fireball well, he will be able to do a lot of damage to you. So in this case, I would usually recommend going for a tie if that's possible, or you can try doing different tactics. I was able to attack against the fireball as well in 2 directions, waiting for the enemy to use it, and this is definitely possible. But if you feel that you're not doing it good enough, you don't have any idea on how to beat your enemy. I think that this was the one I lost. Not really sure because the enemy got some advantage on me and I'm trying to push on the right side. So I think that this was the one I lost. I didn't really go over it to see why I lost. You can definitely review that myself and yourself and let me know in the comments. Maybe I didn't lose this one. I'm not really sure. So I have the giant over there and I have the witch, and seems like they're dying, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen on this one. Anyway, so as I said, there's a big weakness to fireball, and there is also a bit weakness to the bomber tower, which can be really annoying, and you gotta use the musketeer to take it out before you're sending everything. But Basically, besides that, it's a very strong deck, and you can pretty much use, I don't know, you can attack pretty much every other deck, and usually you will win. So from the next attack, where we're gonna talk a bit in a bit more details about what's going on in the deck. So I think that this was one where I totally sucked. I was doing everything very slow, and the enemy got the 3 star on this one, or 3 crowns, whatever it is called. So I did bad on this one, and there's one more tip that I can give you about this deck. Usually, you want to be aggressive with the deck, because if you're not aggressive enough, your enemy is gonna attack you and you will have to defend and won't be able to attack. So you have to be aggressive, but not in a way that you will lose the battle and leave the defense and not defend anything. You gotta be aggressive, but also leave some elixir for defense. And after the first counter of the enemy, you know what he got and you know what you expect, and this way you know which troops to use in the attack. So on this one, I don't know what is going on. I've got 27 points and I'm pushing right now to the left tower. I think that this one was a crazy one that I actually won, and the enemy was not able to to get my tower. So yeah, this was a crazy attack. So I'm pushing with the giant and with the witch and with the bomber. He's sending the hog over there, but I think that the hog is not gonna make it on time, and I'm getting this one. So yeah, this was definitely a funny one. So this definitely shows you never give up. I had 27 points on my tower, so close to losing, and eventually I didn't lose it. So maybe this was the one that I lost. So we're gonna see that now in detail. So usually you want to wait for all of your elixir to fill, and then you're sending the giant. Right after that, you're waiting for your enemy to respond. In this case, he sent a dragon, and that's why I'm using the musketeer. He's also using some goblins, so this is the reason I'm dropping the wizard. So usually you're dropping the giant and letting the elixir fill while the giant is making his way through the base, and after that you're using the rest of the troops. So he's using barbarians. Make sure that you're not dropping everything in the same place. I didn't do a lot of damage to his tower, so you definitely use those barbarians well. And right now I have to use the bomber to get rid of some of the troops, but he's able to do a lot of damage. This guy definitely have an advantage over me. He got level 8 and level 7 troops, while my troops are something like level 4 and level 6. So this was probably the one that I lost. And as you can see, the enemy got a huge advantage. Even if the enemy got only one level higher troops, this is a huge advantage, and he doesn't need to do much to get the 3 star. If you're really good, you will be able to defend and maybe win, but if he knows what he's doing, you pretty much have no chance. Notice on this one he's using a level 8 barbarians against level 6, and my level 6 just wipe, and I truly don't have a chance. So this was the reason that I lost. I can see it now. The enemy was just way too strong, and I didn't have a chance from the beginning. His troops are like 2 times, well, not 2 times, but 2 levels higher than mine, pretty much all of the troops, and I basically don't have a chance in this kind of attack. With my main account, I have higher level troops, so I would definitely beat this guy. Too bad that we cannot arrange those kinds of battles. So I'm trying to defend, but he's just pushing with higher level troops. My troops don't stand a chance, and I think that he's gonna 3-star me on this one. So I'm just desperately dropping everything I got at that wizard, and now I'm doing the biggest mistake and trying to push with the giant from the left. I mean, I knew at this point that I don't have a chance, so I just dropped the giant, and he's dropping the barbarians and the dragon, and basically I'm losing this battle. So enemy was much stronger on this one, so I can definitely not blame myself. And this is gonna be the last attack before we're gonna see Fasan against Chief Pat in a very fun war. So let's see in detail this one. So notice how I'm waiting for the elixir to fill, and now I'm dropping the giant at the lowest corner. So I think that this guy is gonna be a bit of a hot spammer, and this deck works very well against hot spammers. You can go against the hots and you can go from the other side, and this works well. The problem starts when the hot spammer got a fireball, and this is where you can mess up. So this guy doesn't have a fireball, only arrows, and they're totally useless. He's using them, not doing any damage, and his huts are gonna be totally useless. So basically, as I said, you're starting with a giant, watching what the enemy does. If he drops ground troops, you can drop the bomber, the musketeer. If he drops air troops, you can drop the musketeer, the wizard, and the witch. Eventually, at some point, you're dropping almost everything, and try making it in a way that you will be able to counter with something if the enemy suddenly attacks from the other side. Usually it will be good for you if the enemy attacks from the other side, because you will be able to push for 3 stars, but you gotta defend a bit. You cannot just let him attack with a prince and with a hawk from the left side and not do anything. Drop barbarians, drop something. You gotta counter. You can take some damage to your tower on the left, but you cannot just neglect it and don't defend at all. So make sure that you're leaving a bit of elixir to defend as well on the other side. So on this one I've got his tower. He did some damage to me, but once I have one tower I can push for the 3 stars, and I'm doing exactly the same, dropping the giant. There's a musketeer in the bottom. Those annoying goblins from the bottom are coming non-stop, and this is the reason that I like using the goblins hut. When you're attacking from the same side, they're bunching up, and they're very good in defense and offense. So he's sending some ground troops. I'm dropping the wizard and the bomber, and right now he's sending a dragon as well. So dragon is pretty useless in my opinion because it doesn't do a lot of damage to a tower. So usually people want to use it for defense, but some are using it for offense as well. I mean, I did it in the past, and I don't think anymore that it's that effective. I think that this deck is much better than the previous deck that I showed you. So as you can see, I'm pushing and getting another 3 stars. So this was the last one. I'm going to show you more attacks of this deck in the future. So right now let's see Chief Bat against Fisan. As you can see, this battle is on Royal TV, number 2 in the world against number 9 in the world. So definitely a good luck, and this is going to be an awesome battle. So Fesan is in the bottom, Chief Pat is in the upper part. So the first one to start with a musketeer is Fesan in the bottom. Chief Pat is sending a Valkyrie. Those high level troops, you don't even imagine how many gems it takes to get them. So Fesan is dropping the elixir pump, and Chief Pat responds with a hog and another, and a musketeer and a couple of goblins. So that's a small push. A freeze is used. Fasan is using a freeze back, and Jafar is getting mad at that, and those troops are gonna be useless. So freeze spell became one of the most popular spell in the upper, I don't know, in the higher level, in the gemmer's level, in the Royal TV, and I think that if you're watching the attacks over there, you're gonna see that a lot. It really helps with defense and also on offense. As you've seen, many people, by the way, are using the hog and the freeze spell. So if you are using that as well, it is definitely very effective, because if someone attacks you with that and you're dropping barbarians and he's freezing everything, you just freeze him back, and then the barbarians are gonna kill the hog. So his tactic becomes pretty much useless. So Fesan is now going with the Dark Prince and a P.E.K.K.A, a level 8 P.E.K.K.A from behind, and now he's responding. Chief Batter is responding with a P.E.K.K.A. Fesan is using the free spell and getting a free spell back. So this is kind of funny, definitely funny one with all those free spells. So the one who's gonna win that is gonna be the one who's gonna do things fast when the enemy is not going to notice that. So the Valkyrie is in, and the Dark Prince is gonna get her, and now the Hog is going in. The Hog is able to get to the tower, and this is good because he was able to do a decent amount of damage. Pretty much half of the tower went down, and now Fesan got 2 elixir pumps. Well, one went down, so this one is left, and this is good. So Chief Pat is trying an attack with a P.E.K.K.A from the right and with a hog from the left, he's using a couple of goblins, getting the free spell and getting freezed back. So this is definitely funny. Using the free spell for defense, it is very effective. As you can see, that hog didn't do a lot of damage, and the the enemy doesn't stand any chance now against that hog being used. He already used the free spell, and now that hog is doing a lot of damage. So right now, only one hog is gonna be good enough to get that tower. And now you can see that Chief Pat is trying to do pretty much everything. He's oh, again those funny frees are going in against each other. And now notice what's going to happen once Fasan is gonna have the Hulk. He's sending him. You won't notice how fast that happens. And Chief Pat is sending another Hulk, and Fasan is sending a Hulk as well. It's overtime now, and he is the first to get the tower, and he's getting that win. So this is definitely one of the funniest battles that I've seen in the game, and all those free spells against each other. But Fasan is the winner, and this is amazing. So hopefully you like the video. If you're new on the channel, I would love if you subscribe. We'll see each other in the next video. Bye bye.